morning. Um, I'm going to install an Ubuntu virtual machine inside of VirtualBox. Afterwards, I will make this virtual machine a dual boot with a secondary operating system Fedora. First of all, this is my VirtualBox interface. I already have some testing machine, with all kind of stuff with it. I will start over with the new machine, so therefore I will create a new machine, and you choose new. Then you get into this interface. Because I chose the expert interface, I will going to look, change. It's a little bit odd in the new version of VirtualBox. It should now be okay. Yeah, that's the normal interface you get for a new machine. I will call it composys. No ISO image. I will choose, Linux, of course. And then I have an Ubuntu. And then I will choose the correct Ubuntu version. I will install a novel numpad and continue next. Now it suggests 2 gigabyte. When you do the same at VMware Workstation, it suggests 4 gigabyte. I've had some problems installing Ubuntu on VirtualBox on this version of VirtualBox. I've installed it several times in the past, but I have the impression the installation works more reliable when you take 4 gigabyte of RAM memory. Um, uh, so if you can assign it, if you have enough memory, please do so. Can afterwards, after installation, always uh, go back to a lower, lesser amount of memory. I want to give it at least 3 cores, and I'm going to make it an FE system. I will take 20 gigabytes of hard disk, no pre-allocation. In VirtualBox, there is no question of splitting the disk up in several files like in VMware. So I have my system paths. This is my system. Now I have to insert the DVD, and I hope it will start running. A few things also, I will come back on that later with this installation of the second operating system. When I go to the system here, settings, you have here grayed out a boot order menu. It's grayed out because I have an FE system. Cannot choose it here. I have to go to the expert settings, and then I can toggle the FE in or out. And when I toggle it out, you can change the boot order. Now, yeah, we do have, so when you have a BIOS system, you can change here the boot order. You do not get into a BIOS-like BIOS to change the boot order when you have a BIOS system. Sorry for the number of BIOSes in this sentence. But you can change the boot order here if you have a legacy BIOS version. I have a FE, and I have to go to the FE boot menu. You will see that later on. For now, that's no problem at all. I have to go to the storage. Basically, VirtualBox works with SATA drive for the Ubuntu installation for the hard disk. This is the hard disk. The DVD is in fact even an IDE. You can add different controls and different drives if you want. For instance, controls you add here, and then you can go to the SCSI's, bus logic, LZ logic, and so on. Also an NVMe, so an SSD. interface. You can add disks here, optical or hard disks, on any kind of controller. Now I would add, because I have selected here the controller, I normally will add an optical or hard drive to the IDE. So it's quite flexible if you want to, but I don't need it at this point. I'm going now to the selection of my DVD. What kind of DVD am I going to insert? And I push this button here and I choose a disk file. I already have them in cache, in fact. Choose the virtual optical disk, of course, and then you get the disk selector, and now you see those two ISOs. I already add them. You have to add them through this add button, and then you click it. I will add, for instance, a Debian installation. So it's, and they're not attached. The Debian is new. The Ubuntu is not attached. The Fedora is, because can I go? No, I cannot go there. This ASD FOSS test machine has the Fedora DVD inserted. Could um, eject it or so, but it's inserted. That's why here it's here standing attached. Normally you get a list of ISOs that are not attached. I choose the Ubuntu, of course. I'm going to install Ubuntu. Choose, voila, and that would do the thing, I guess. See if you go here now, I can show you the optical drive here is inserted. I will, by the way, eject it because I'm going to need it later on in the composite system. Remove like this. Ah, so the composite now has Ubuntu attached and an empty 20 GB. So let's start the system. VirtualBox works with different windows, separated windows, so you get in fact you don't need this window anymore to run the system. And you have here I clicked already inside to interfere, to interrupt the grub bootloader, so I have the menu. I could go to the FE settings, but it's a little bit empty because the disk is empty. This is the bootloader of the coming from the CD, the DVD, and I of course want to install Ubuntu. So you don't need to interrupt this bootloader. I'll only do that for this video. This is the default setting, try or install Ubuntu, and you should choose it. And then a live Ubuntu will start. In a minute you can see here the activity. So it's reading, green button, it's reading from the DVD. By the way, normally the host key, as they call it, is the right control. I changed it to the Control Alt or something else because I don't, on this machine I don't have a right control. A lot of laptops don't have a right control, so it's a little bit silly they keep on choosing for that combination. But anyway, you can easily change that, by the way. While it's booting, I can show you if I can find it's somewhere in the main window, and you go to the preferences. It's somewhere, yeah, I already have it here. The input, is it also in basic? No, you have to go to the export settings, the input, and then I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. And then you have let me have a look. I don't know, don't remember the name. So just a minute. Is it the host key? Host key? No, it's not there. No, just a minute. I will find it for those who have a problem with that. So, okay, it is inside there, but I missed it. Start all over from the top. Yeah. I am very sorry for this. Um, up, of course, it's in the virtual machine. Stupid me. It's in the other tab. In the virtual machine, the host key combination. So there is normally right control, um, and you can change it here. If you click here, you can change it. Sorry. So in the virtual machine inputs. So in the meantime, our Ubuntu system has booted and the installation wizard has started. So I click on focus. So the focus here in VirtualBox, when this arrow here is green, I have a focus, and you see already this Ubuntu installation is a graphical interface, so there is already integration with the Windows host. The yellow cursor is my Windows host cursor, and the black one is the Ubuntu virtual guest cursor. When I press the Control Alt, this green button arrow will turn black. Sorry. Yeah, you can also uh, in you can also choose here. But when I do a Control Alt, you see, and I don't have focus, but the cursor does change. I have to click first to get focus. No, can I do that? A little bit strange. It's the integration which messes up this a little bit. Okay, never mind. I go further. In the installation wizards, for this machine, I keep the English US and not like I did in another video, the US International, because it's another machine, another keyboard. You choose the keyboard you need for your system, of course. And I continue a wired connection with all the default settings, in fact. Interactive installation, default selection. I will install third-party software, closed source software. And I will erase this disk, it's a new disk. The user account, as usual. Now I want to emphasize it is important you you give it enough. Sorry, this is wrong. Give it enough memory to install, because I did a few installs with this new VirtualBox that failed. In fact, because of I think because of too few memory, not enough memory. This so I can now overlook it. As you see already, this partition we already know from the VMware installation. It's first boot FE FAT32, partition part of the disk, and a big extended for the Ubuntu installation. I had a few installations in this environment, in this setup, this laptop, this VirtualBox, and so on. And a few times this part of the installation failed. Now you should see regularly here writes, so a red button that's reading from disk and writing from disk. You see here, so the disk, the 20 gigabytes, and when that stops, there is something wrong. And I had it a few times. It kept on reading from DVD, but not writing or doing anything with the hard disk. And I tried EFI, I tried BIOS, and I think it's the memory thing. So every time now I give it 4 gigabyte, it continues. So I expect it's a lot of memory, of course, for a virtual system, small virtual system, but obviously there is something about it. Now, as I said before several times, it's possible that afterwards, after installation, you could monitor the system, how much usage, and perhaps decrease the amount of memory assigned to the virtual system. In the meanwhile, the installation procedure continues. Normally, I click them out because I'm I don't like them very much. VirtualBox had some very nasty, very annoying messages, so a grayed out column here at the right side. Um, I click them. You can disable them. Every time I do a new installation of VirtualBox, they start all over again. So you should see them more than I do because I click them away. It's not my habit to do that, but they were too annoying. I'm very sorry. Also, thing I'm thinking about is in this video it will be a rather small window. I hope it's readable. I can enlarge it like this. Don't know, with the live version it's not working, but with the running version the virtual desktop will increase or decrease, follow the size of the window, the VirtualBox window. Now in this live version it isn't, but the characters remain small, of course. If you want to have a better readability, for instance, for in the video, you have to increase the font size, something like that, in your applications. Okay. Thinking whether to pause the recording, but I think it will go fast enough. It will finish soon. I don't know exactly. Perhaps a few things about VirtualBox while we're waiting. VirtualBox works with separate windows, so this is my virtual machine, and this is the main window. So it has this media manager here, and here you have the media, storage devices, floppies, yeah, floppies, virtual floppies. These optical discs, so you see there are 3 optical discs I added to this manager. It's through this manager you can assign them to machines, not select them straight away from disks as you saw. No, no, just a minute. Yeah, okay, just like that. Yeah, okay. And then you also have the hard disk devices, and both machines have one hard disk assigned, and you see them here. And here you should be able, Yeah, it's not possible. This machine is powered off. This machine is powered off. I'm sorry. um, this machine is powered off. So here I can, uh, on this disk in this view, I can change the size of the disk. Yeah, so I can here enlarge it until 2 terabyte if I want to. I can use a slider, but I can also type in the correct amount, size, 35 for instance. Um, and then when I push apply, it will expand in this situation. It should also be possible to decrease the size, but the virtual operating system or partitioning should allow that, of course, otherwise you get a corrupted file system. I don't know if I'm going to push apply while it's still installing. I guess so, yeah, why not? Done right like this. Excuse me. By the way, you can also do this on command line with some VBox commands if you want to. Um, on VMware you can do that as well, as far as I know, but for the expansion I don't know the command. But everything you do in VirtualBox in a graphical display you can also do on command line. Takes a little bit longer than I expected, doesn't matter. Something else about virtual systems, I will go to VirtualBox subdirectory here, and here you see the directory for the Discomsys system. And what is inside the VBox configuration file, you can edit that. Just with Notepad. So this is a readable XML, and it's in fact the composition of your hardware. More than that, but here you can change your settings, your virtual machine settings. So for instance, this everything should be inside as well. There, the RAM size I see here, and so on. The same thing as the VMX in VMware. Sorry. The VDI is of course it's still active a little. Yeah, so it was waiting on something. It's also working on the network, by the way. Green means just a minute. I think receiving, red is sending. Can also be the other way around, but I don't think so. So the VDI is the disk, the virtual disk, and you see it increasing. It has a size of 20 gigabyte, but it only allocates this amount it needs. So you see it growing. And if you had a look at my videos for the installation of in VMware, you saw that after installation the Ubuntu used about half the size of the disk, so about 10 gigabytes. So we're not there yet, as you see. So that's about everything I can tell you at this moment. System also in the system in VirtualBox. Well, that's ready, but I finished my sentence. You can choose to pause the system to reset it and to ACPI shut down. It should send some signals. You can also close this window. So this is one virtual machine. You can close this machine and this window, and you can choose from through three things. Save the machine state, so it's suspended. send the shutdown signal, so it will send a signal to the virtual machine, hey, please shut down, or just power off. That's pulling the plug out of the outlet. No more electricity, buff. We're finished. Not going to do that now, of course. So our system is installed, so I just have to restart. Ubuntu has some thing about restarting. Please be aware. Sometimes forget that. Yeah, it will now stop normally, I think, or doesn't it? Yeah. So it now ejected. You see, ejected the DVD. So in reality, you also see the the DVD coming out of the system. But anyway, it does wait until you press enter. So if you're not aware, you can wait for hours or days or years. This is not going any further unless you press enter. So I do. And then you see disk activity. And the booting of Ubuntu. So it's booted. It has booted, sorry. And I will log in. And I get, of course, the same system as I had in VMware, because the virtual system remains the same. I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, there was something wrong with the cursor. Next, no Ubuntu Pro, please. No, do not share my data. And finish. Something wrong with the mouse. I don't know what's happening with the cursor. So anyway, I choose now here. It has some problems with the graphical user interface. It will stabilize later on, I hope. When I go to the utilities, I can start the disk utility. I can change this utility and sorry, just a minute. I don't know what exactly is happening. Yeah, I think it stabilized more or less the disk utility. And I have very annoying this. I didn't have it in the other machine. I don't know what's happening. So you see in the disk utility we had we have the FE boot system, boot partition, and the boot the partition where it's located the Ubuntu system. Disk is all used. Yeah. So what are we going to do now? We are going to shut down the system, and we'll do it like this: power off, power off. I don't know what happens with this system. I'm sorry. Hopefully, it will end. So it's powered off. Comes this. I go to the storage. I can click here, or I can choose settings here. Can this settings as well. Go to the storage. No, 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 completely wrong. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I go to the virtual media manager, of course. There I click on the hard disk, and I will enlarge this to 35. And I press apply. Yeah, it's already done. So what I do now is I reboot the system to have a look. This, you see those annoying things here. Close the main window, VirtualBox main window, and I get the virtual system. Hopefully the graphical interface is now a little bit more stabilized. Yep, we're there. It did boot. That's already something, of course. And we have this system. I'm wondering, it looks a little bit better now. We'll see. It's a temporary VirtualBox hiccup. When I go down to the disk utilities, I have a 38 gigabyte hard disk with free space. Yeah. So as could have been expected. So expansion worked very well. It looks like the system is running smoothly with the change disk. So next step is to install the Fedora dual boot. So I power it off. I need to power it off for an UEFI system. I don't know if I can interfere when restarting, but I should do a cold boot normally because I have to get into the, let's call it BIOS. So now we have a tricky part. If you have installed this as a non-UEFI, so here you see UEFI enabled, then this is not grayed out. I can show it to you because I can disable the EFI, and then you get this boot order, and then you can say, yeah, optical first. Yeah. Now it is already in front of the hard disk. So normally if you have a BIOS system, a legacy BIOS, you can change it, but you shouldn't. It's not necessary. Yeah, you could take out the floppy because it's a little bit silly to try to boot from a floppy that doesn't exist, a virtual floppy in this case. And normally you can put the hard disk on the first place, so it will boot straight away on the hard disk. But now we want to install the second operating system. We need to have the optical DVD reader in front of the hard disk, so it's okay. But I noticed if I tried this kind of boot on this other system, it didn't. Sorry. Yeah, no, forget what I wanted to say. Um, if you have troubles when booting in a BIOS, legacy BIOS system, you should try to press F12 while booting. With the EFI system, you need to press escape, but not too many times. I'm used to get in a BIOS. I used to press all the time F2 or something like that. But you should press as few times as possible, if possible, only once. And I will show you. So I don't change anything here. I have an EFI system, EFI enabled system. I need to interfere with the boot option by pressing inside the virtual machine, inside the virtual window. I have to press escape before Ubuntu kicks in. So what you will see is I'm going to press start. I minimize this window so it's out of the way. The CompSys window will appear. I click inside the window. You should see me losing the yellow cursor, and then I press escape. Ta-da! If it doesn't work, you can always reset or reboot your system until it does work. So I start. I minimize this one so it's out of the way. click inside escape one time, a second time, and it's okay. I get the the bootloader for the Ubuntu system. It's also possible you get straight away in the UEFI firmware settings, but not this time for me. But I can go to this firmware settings, and it depends. Sometimes also you get in some group editor. Please do a cold boot again, because you cannot exit there on a correct way. So there are three possibilities. You press too many times on escape and you will get a grepl editor, not usable. Reboot your system, cold boot your system. You get the UEFI firmware settings immediately. That's nice. Or you get this bootloader, and then you can go through this choice to this firmware setting, and then I also get this one. So this one I need. So you have, perhaps you have to try a few times to get in this system. If you are, sorry, if I say, sorry to say it this way, but if you are too slow and Ubuntu kicks in, please let it start on a normal way, and shut down the machine and try again. Just knocking out a booting operating system is not a very good idea. But we should get in this menu when we have an FE system, otherwise it's another. And we go to the boot manager. And there we try, and there we, what do we see? Well, we can boot into the Ubuntu UEFI settings. Yeah, that's this small partition in the beginning of the disk. Don't need that. We can also do a PXE, meaning that we are going to boot from network. Not going to do that, but we can also do a hard disk. Now I did something stupid. I did this procedure without inserting the DVD, so I have to do it again anyway. I'm not now going to escape, and let's see, I do a reset so I can close my system. I will close this by just closing the system. I'm not going to do it right now. I first do a reset. This Control Alt, and I close the system. Okay, I forgot something. Of course, I had to insert the Fedora. Now I can do it like this. It's very nice. And I do the procedure again. So you can see it twice here. Yeah. Start, minimize, finger on the button, escape, click escape. Voilà. Firmware settings, and now it will also give a choice to put off the DVD. See, the CD-ROM will boot that, and I will get the Fedora workstation installation bootloader. And now I press enter, and it's booting off the DVD. You can see that, by the way, here, the activity on the DVD, more or less. It already took a few things, and now it's starting Fedora, as you see here. Just leave it running like this a little while. I'm back in a minute. So the system is booting. I'm just going to check whether my sound is okay. Is my sound okay? Yes, it looks like okay. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm booted into the installation for Fedora. It's very small, even on my screen. And I choose install Fedora. And it looks a little bit different from the Ubuntu installation, but it's exactly the same, or more or less. It's the same user interface, different colors and so on. Voilà, but the installation wizard is quite different. It's a Red Hat based installation. So welcome to Fedora 41. I choose to install in English. You should too, for better compatibility. Now you have again here the keyboard. You can change that. You can add keyboards and remove this one, for instance. I will not do that because I will use this keyboard on. Just check my. Yeah, it's a little bit slow. Impression this machine is quite slow. Don't know exactly what is happening. Can I add one? Yeah, I can add one here. So you do, for instance, Belgium. Where is Belgium here? Can add. But I will not do that. I will use this one when you are finished with this selection and this arrangement. When you could add more and change the order. You click on done. The time is okay, should not change that. The installation destination, let's have a click there. It sees this 35 gigabyte with 15 free, and I will leave it like that, automatic. Yeah, I'm not going to change that, so I choose the begin installation. Take some time. Now I do pause the recording. I'm getting back to you for you in a few seconds, for me a few minutes. So we're recording again. Yips. Installation went very well, and it has finished. I still keep those strange cursor blocks. It's a VirtualBox thing. Interaction with my video display, I guess. The installation progress is complete, and I can finish the installation. It's not completely finished, by the way, you know that by now. For Fedora, you have a post-install procedure. So I do the finish. The system normally reboots, as far as I remember. Time is completely wrong, by the way. Really. It's in the wrong time zone. Doesn't reboot by itself, so I will do it myself. Manually restart. I remained in the live version. Now I normally get a grub menu, voila. And it went quite fast before I could react. It went to the Fedora. So anyway, we have to do the post installation. But you saw the grip menu. It was an extended one with Fedora and Ubuntu. So there is a strange thing about it has to do with my video display and VirtualBox. I do the start setup. Yeah. automatic problem reporting, I disable. Third party enable. Sorry for this. Then my name. Trying a few things. Well, it's very annoying. I hope it disappears when the machine is stable. So I need my full name. Username is. And I need to enter my password twice. All done. Start using Fedora Linux. Not this way. Yeah. So it's this these menus causes some kind of problems. Skip the tour. I don't want a tour. I want a terminal. One will be very small. It's okay. Normally there should be some integration to video resolution. Yeah, voila. But as I told you, I can make it larger, so you see more this virtual machine. But the the font size remains the same. I can, with scrolling, I can, yeah, but it's writing to disk. Yeah, so do I now have? It's stalling. It's a little bit. So I have to wait a little. I don't know what's happening. It's possible it has to do with security on my my laptop also. So I should not do anything at this point. It's very annoying. I have to be patient until it comes through. What am I going to do? I can restart the system. But I will look at my task manager, by the way, in my host. So this virtual machine is taking up some, but it's not blocking in any kind of way. See those two virtual machines. I wonder. Back to. Doesn't take much. Doesn't consume much, so leave it like that. No, I'm going to try to send a shutdown signal. I will have a look if it works. It looks like it. Normally it has nothing to do with VirtualBox or the installation. It has to do with the interaction with my system. And as I told you, especially the security of my system. We'll have a look. Here I get the bootloader, like this. This is the normal Ubuntu, and this is the normal Fedora. By the way, to remove the virtual disk and perhaps also go to the settings. It doesn't insert the disk. It's empty. Okay. Shouldn't insert it at boot time as well. Okay, I will boot Fedora. Let's have a look if it's going better now. Mm-hmm. I hope I didn't make a typo. It's possible. No, I didn't make a typo. Very curious. And now the time is correct. Yeah. So I choose terminal. I think, yeah. Can enlarge the font size. Normally you can do it with scrolling with the mouse, but I think that went wrong the last time. I will try it. I'm living dangerously. Let's see, it works. It's very large. Control scroll. This I did now. And when I do, yeah, I will can show it online, but I can also go to the disk manager. Utility, disk utility. Oops, this one. And you see, of course, that's still a small font. You see now this this partitioning, the FE Ubuntu, and a boot partition for Fedora and the Fedora itself. Fedora itself is BTRFS. I mentioned that in the VMware video as well. A little special, but very interesting kind of file system. But you see, they're next to each other. I can mount this part into Fedora if I want to. I will show it. I showed it in the other video, but I will end with by doing that. I have to be a super user to do a super user. Uh, mount. I know the addresses, so I can easily type it in. Mount def SDA 2. It's Ubuntu. And I put it on the temporary mount place MNT. And then I need to enter a password for my sudo. Kind of warnings. And it's mounted. Here, I do the mount command. It's mounted and is extended for. So I have a look. You see, so you see the contents. It's the Ubuntu thing. Yes, the Ubuntu thing. Normally, I could show you this by do a less of the etc. Yes, there's some OS release. Voilà. I need this one here. And you see, it's the Ubuntu thing. Another thing concerning users. Let's have a look here. Yes, that's my Fedora home directory, and you will see this owner and this group owner. When I do this, so it's the Ubuntu home directory. It's the same. It does indicate the same username, and that's because it has the same user ID, and that's more or less a coincidence. You see, I have a user ID of 1000, and I say more or less a coincidence because both operating systems starts at 1000. But if I chose another user in the Fedora, for instance, IDs would be different. Thousands, exactly the same, and that's, yeah, more or less a coincidence. Okay, I will finish the video here. Both are installed, or do I have to prove Ubuntu still works as well? I will unmount, by the way. Yes. Sorry, sudo. I hope my timing is still on. Yes. So sudo works for a few minutes. Restart system. Should get a group menu, and I can start Ubuntu. I can choose Ubuntu. This one. And normally Ubuntu will boot. So it looks like Ubuntu is booting. Comes this far, so mistyped. I can do here the same. You can see that in my other video for VMware, mounting the Fedora partition, this one and this one, onto the Ubuntu partition. This is an extended 4, yeah, it's a little bit small to read. And this is a BTRFS, so I can easily mount those into the Ubuntu, but I don't need it, of course. So both boot, I have a dual boot virtual system, which I'm now going to shut down, power off, and I will power off the video as well.